All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here at First Tech Challenge. I've got some awesome guests to wrap up our summer conference tonight. So hello, and welcome to More Than Robots Google Hangout on Air. My name is Marissa, and I'm a program coordinator at First. I'll be your host for this event. Today, I'd like to welcome Colleen, Katie, Aiden, Rachel, and Sarah. Colleen and Katie are part of FTC Team number 3595, Schrödinger's Hat. Katie is also part of FRC Team 3132, Thunder Down Under. 3595 is the Western Hub team for the FTC Tech Network, the FTC Contact Team for First Ladies, and a founding partner of Mentors Without Borders. This is their second year giving Gear Up with FTC presentations, and they are very happy to be part of it again. Aiden is here from Team 4082 and founded the FTC Tech Network. Aiden will be a junior in high school and has been doing First Tech Challenge for 3 years. He's an active volunteer in the community and is a black belt in karate. He also participates in a select choir as well as school plays. Rachel Hunter is a rising senior from East Troy, Wisconsin, and this will be her 9th year in First. She was on FTC Team 5972 for 3 years and founded the First Ladies organization as part of that team last year. This season, she's excited to mentor FTC Team 9132 Polar Vortex and be part of the strategy team on FRC Team 3132 The Thunder Down Under. Sarah is an alumni from FRC number 3132 The Thunder Down Under and is currently an undergraduate student studying software engineering and Bachelor of Arts, Public Policy Law and Global Governance at Macquarie University. Well, that sounds really boring. No, it doesn't. It means she plays with robots and gets to travel the world doing it. In her not-so-spare time, she's danced competitively and played the harp in an orchestra. You guys have a talented bunch here tonight. We have a few housekeeping items before we get started. While everyone is presenting, I will be watching for your questions on our YouTube channel. Make sure to send us your questions, and we will do our very best to get them answered at the end of the presentation. This presentation will be recorded and made available on our YouTube channel. The slides will also be available on our FTC Summer Conference webpage. We're also live tweeting this event, so feel free to tweet along with Gear Up FTC. And now, I would like to turn it over to the experts. Thanks so much. Here go Colleen and Katie.
Hello. So, like Marissa said, we are Colleen and Katie Johnson from FTC Team number 3595, and we are part of a presentation on More Than Robots. So, there we go. More Than Robots is was the tagline for this year's World Championship. And we think that it beautifully encompasses the First programs because while there are a lot of the robotics aspects that will really get you hooked, First is so much more than that. There's connecting, networking, there's video editing, and writing your engineering notebook. And those can be very difficult to do. And so there are a bunch of online communities that can help you with all of these aspects of First, and that's what we're going to be talking about today.
So in the next 30 minutes, we're going to tell you about these various online communities and how they can help your team. Our team, for our first 3 years, we were never really involved with the online aspects of First. And in this past year, since joining these communities, we've had a lot more opportunities and even more fun through First because of them. They can help you with a ton of different things, like getting started in FTC. If you're a veteran team, you'll know that that rookie year can be pretty overwhelming. And if a rookie team joins these online communities, they can get a lot of help with that initial learning curve. These communities can also help you with things like technical difficulties, and no matter how long you've been in this program, at some point you're going to have questions, and if you go online, there are going to be teams who can answer them. They also help you to get connected with other teams. So if you've been doing this for a while, once again, you'll know that a large part of judging is connecting and connecting with other teams and the engineering community. And so that this can help you with that, and it's also just a lot of fun to meet teams from all over the world. And then these online communities also help you to really take advantage of More Than Robots and all the aspects of that.
So there are a bunch of benefits for getting involved, both for educators and for team members. For educators, say you might be teaching programming, and so you know all there is to know about that, but you don't really know where to start with the robot. And so programs like these can give you immediate access to all sorts of tips and tricks to help you get better at that. It also allows students to better use their in-class time when they're all together, to be, say, working on the robot all together. And then once they go home, they can take their out-of-class time and research all of the other aspects, and it allows teams to function much better in a classroom environment. It also allows teachers to facilitate a team, then to really take a step back and to let students take the responsibility for all these different aspects of the program and to become experts at it.
And then there are also a lot of benefits for teams when they get involved. They can see viewpoints and strategies and ideas, and they can brainstorm with teams from all over the world. And then once again, when you're a rookie team, that first year can be pretty overwhelming. And so this really helps to alleviate that learning curve that teams go through. It allows veteran teams a chance to give back to FIRST and the FTC community. And all of us have gotten so much out of FIRST that if we can give back in any way, we're very happy to do that. It also gives you opportunities to build online communication, presentation, networking skills, things that will really help you later on in life as you're looking for jobs and careers. And also, connecting with other teams is just a lot of fun. So if you meet a team online through these online communities, you can very often then go and meet them at a tournament, and it's so much fun to already know these people from online.
So, we're going to really quickly recap what we've said in the last few slides, and we're going to pass it over to Aiden to talk about the Tech Network. So, these online communities allow you to get involved with phenomenal projects. They allow you to connect globally while doing that. They allow you to get answers, both for educators and students. And then lastly, they allow you to make friends. So we're going to pass it over to Aiden here.
All right, thank you, Colleen and Katie. As I had said before, my name is Aiden Uvani. I am the founder of the FTC Tech Network and a team member on the RoboSpartans FTC Team 4082. So I'm just going to pull up my slides here. Hang on 1 second. All right. So there we go. All right, so let me just tell you a little bit about the FTC Tech Network. TECH stands for Team Engineering Collaborative Network. We founded the collaboration just this past season. So it was aimed to better allow teams to connect, communicate, and collaborate. Currently, there's over 120 teams from 8 countries, and it's always growing. We foster peer-to-peer learning so that not only can the coaches be involved, but it's really meant to have the students initiate the conversation and just be learning from each other. It allows teams to connect worldwide, and as all the other online communities, it assists teams to be more than just robots and really increase their outreach. So how does it work? Well, we have periodic topic-driven Google Hangouts that allow for live collaboration. Now, the neat thing about Google Hangouts is that, and with the FTC Tech Network, is that any member team can host or attend the Hangout. So that's going to allow your students and any team member to increase those presentation skills and the communication skills, as Katie and Colleen had talked about earlier. And that's really going to help in the judging and then just later on in life. So once the Google Hangout is over, we have a Google community that's going to allow for that post-Hangout communication. And new this coming season, we are going to be able to pair rookie teams with other teams, as well as school team-to-school teams. And I know our topic for this year, Gear Up with FTC, is for in the classroom. Now, sometimes a school team can feel isolated in the fact that they do not get to do too much outside the school day, or they're very limited on their time. So by having over half of our member teams being school teams, we are able to make more connections that can happen during the school day. And as Colleen said, all these online communities, when you're doing Google Hangouts and you're collaborating with many other people, you're making friends. And then when you go to international tournaments or even super regionals, you already know the people, so it's pretty awesome. So we also have a for when you're trying to pair teams, we have a team directory. So even if there's not a Google Hangout going on, you are able to initiate your own connections and be able to have a collaboration with them. Because sometimes all these online communities and forums, you're able to get nice, quick answers, but by forming a connection with a Google Hangout or a collaboration with another team, you're having a more effective and kind of community feeling. So to find out any more information about the FTC Tech Network and to join, you can head over to our website, ftctechnetwork.org, and with any other questions, you can either obviously post them on the YouTube and we could try to answer them at the end of this presentation, or you can email me at ftctechnetwork@gmail.com. And like everybody, we are on Facebook and Twitter as well. And so I'm going to hand it off to Rachel so she can talk about the First Ladies.
Hi everybody, I'm Rachel Hunter, and like they said, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the First Ladies community. So I'm just going to bring up my slides real quick. Alright, so First Ladies is a community that was formed to form a place for girls and women within all the facets of the STEM program to connect and work together to just promote STEM in their own communities and also in the larger communities of FTC, FRC, FLL, and Junior FLL. Over a year ago, First Ladies was founded by my FTC team, 5972 the Patronum bots from Wisconsin, and since then this community has expanded to reach all over the entire world, reaching 5 continents by the 2015 First Championship. With the help of our FRC and FTC partners, 3132 the Thunder Down Under and 3595 Schrödinger's Hat, we've been able to keep this momentum going to continue to motivate girls to get excited about engineering. And one of our passions in First Ladies is just getting as many girls excited as possible. And that's really what we mainly try to focus on. We don't have a huge agenda. It's mainly just encouraging people to be excited. First Ladies was founded in June 2014, and since then we've grown to over 600 members in 17 countries. We try really hard to have First Ladies meetups at as many events as possible. And we've established a regional partner program that allows any first team who is interested to access resources for running a meetup. We've had meetups in Hawaii and Australia so far. We're going to have one at IRI in a couple days. And of course, the women's exchange event we had at the First Championship was a huge success and drew in over several hundred girls to talk with each other and women in STEM fields and share experiences. And it was a really great environment to just learn and connect with other people. As a community, we're always working hard to find new opportunities for our members to become more involved, not only with the First Ladies community, but also give them opportunities to be more involved in their communities. So a couple ways that we do this is we have weekly blog posts published on our website, and it's a topic of the author's choice, so they can choose whatever they want to write about. We have such a huge range of blogs. They range from talking about the toy industry to tips and tricks for finding just your niche on the team. What are you interested in? And we've had a lot of positive responses to these blogs, and we love having them published. Like I said, every Saturday a new one is published, so it's a really great opportunity to read about other people's experiences. This year we plan on having as many First Ladies meetups at FRC regionals and FTC championships as possible. As I mentioned before, our regional partners are really stepping up to help expand the meetup opportunities because in our experience, having face-to-face conversations is really a lot more meaningful than just messaging over the internet. A couple other programs that we've started is the Outreach in a Box collaboration with FRC Team Robotics and the Pen Pal program that encourages communication between members of all programs. So a lot of these programs are in place to just help, again, foster communication, which is our main goal. First Ladies also host Google Hangouts every so often, and one of our most popular ones was a discussion with engineers from Google about what it's like to be a professional woman in STEM, and that was a really beneficial one for girls who weren't feeling as confident in math or science so that they could really still achieve their goal of wanting to be an engineer, even if they weren't the best at those subjects. So if you want to get involved with First Ladies, here's all of our contact information. To become a member, you just go to ladiesandfirst.com and hit register now, and then you will just fill out a short form, and then you'll receive an email every so often with new First Lady updates. If you have any questions, you can email me at ladiesandfirst@gmail.com or follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, like our Facebook page, Instagram, all that. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to Sarah to talk about Mentors Without Borders.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, and let me get my slides up here, and then we'll get going on Mentors Without Borders. So Mentors Without Borders is a program that we started earlier this year, and the basic idea came about because as an international team, we realized that there were a lot of barriers we faced, and we started helping other international teams overcome those barriers. So these ranged in things just from the simple stuff, like as an FRC team having to build bumpers that are made out of wood that it's illegal to import into the US or outside of our country. So dealing with all these sorts of issues, we wanted to create an organization that could build on our experience and other teams' experience to move forward. So the program really crosses all barriers. We've gone into low socioeconomic communities, we've gone into the outback, we've gone and worked with, you can see there's a Egyptian FLL team, the girls on that team were all deaf as well. So we really are looking to break down all barriers with the program. So a lot of these barriers are some things that we are oftentimes talk about but we never really experience. So today we've been very fortunate that Google Hangouts has been working quite well, but there are times when the technology just isn't quite there, and having to work through the technology issues in order to accomplish real change can be a real problem. Obviously there's the language barrier, and there are also a lot of cultural barriers. We face this a lot. We just ran the Asia Pacific Invitational, and when dealing with some of the Asian teams, there were a lot of cultural issues the judges, referees, field staff had to be aware of. Really, really silly things like safety glasses are considered quite normal in FIRST, but not necessarily in all Asian cultures, and so trying to make sure stuff like that comes across can be challenging. So just to give you an idea of how Mentors Without Borders is having an impact, this is the story of how Mentors Without Borders sort of started. It all began at the 2013 Asia Pacific Invitational when Cougar Robotics 4251, the FTC team, who were the reigning world champions, they picked an American FTC team as their first pick, and they picked a team from China as their second pick. And we didn't really think anything of it at the time. They went on to win the tournament, which was very exciting. And still, we didn't really think much of it. Later that year, I was traveling to China for Mentors Without Borders, going around the country. I went to 6 different cities in 7 days, really trying to help get some FRC things going in the country. And when we were in Nanjing, which is where this Chinese team was from, they invited us to go to the school. And we said, okay. Well, we didn't realize it at the time, but the school was actually a reform school, sort of a place for children one step away from juvenile detention. So we went there, and it was very confronting how bad the situation was for these kids, in that they really were headed down the wrong path. The school has a 2-to-1 teacher-to-student ratio, so that for every 2 teachers, there's 1 student. And they were telling us how this had totally and completely turned their school around. It had changed their school culture. It had changed the way the people in Nanjing were viewing the school and viewing the students, because they had seen that these kids really could accomplish great things and could do good things with their lives, and they weren't a lost cause. And it was a really powerful moment when we realized that these international connections of FIRST are potentially the biggest impact FIRST will ever have, more so than any science or technology, because when we make these international connections, we see that people around the world are all just people, and maybe someday we could even prevent a war through things like this. So Mentors Without Borders is on Facebook primarily, so you can find us there, like us. We've got a number of partners around the world, and we would love to have you involved. So for more information, please find us on Facebook. And with that, I'd like to hand it back over to Colleen and Katie.
So open it up for questions now. And if you are watching back, all of our contact info is up, just contact us.
Hey, Colleen and Katie, you've got some crazy echoing going on in your end.
Sarah, could you please mute yourself?
Oh, my, do it. I was going to say you have some echoing happening on your end.
Is it better?
That's perfect. Do you want to just repeat what you said?
Okay. So we're going to open it up for questions now and pass it back over to Marissa. But we've got all of our contact info for the teams up on the
Screen in one moment.
Oh, screen now. And so, if you're watching after the fact, feel free to contact any of us with questions that you may have. We'll also be answering the YouTube comments section. So. So you are. Yeah, so Marissa, were there questions or?
Yes, we have got a couple. So thank you so much, you guys. You were all fantastic, and I can't believe how quickly you blew through all of that amazing information. A couple of these generic questions are, what are your favorite things about FTC? And you can each, I guess, answer one at a time if you want.
All right, well, I guess I'll start. My first year in FTC, I primarily did CAD, and as much as that was enjoyable, when a team starts to get into connecting with international teams and experiencing their cultures, and then meeting them eventually, since we went to the World Championship, I bet that was one of my most favorite moments. And I think for a lot of people, if you ever get to have that experience, you won't forget it.
I am very strange in that I love presentations like this. They're just fun for me. I also love the very beginning of the season when you're just throwing things together to see if they work before you're really refining everything, just like the sheer engineering and the thinking outside of the box that needs to go into that.
I like basically the same thing that Aiden said. I love when you have met someone online and then you go to a tournament and you can meet them in person. And I think my favorite instance of that was when because I'm remotely on FRC 3132, and then getting to meet them at that World Championships. That was absolutely incredible. Exactly. I think that's my favorite part.
For me, I guess I kind of have two. My first one is, when you're in FLL, you kind of see other teams and you're encouraged to be like, hey, like, what's up, how are you? But in FTC, you're kind of forced into that interaction with them where you don't have a choice of whether or not you talk to them or not, because you have to, or else you're not going to win any matches. And through that, I think a lot of friendships are forged just in that forced interaction. So when I think about, like, when I started FTC, I didn't know who anybody was, and now I go through, like, the favorites on my phone or the last, like, 6 people I called, and they're people that live, all those scattered around the country, and I just think that's really cool how I now have all these connections with, people like this, and being able to talk to just a variety of different people. And I have to agree with Katie that meeting, people from Australia for the first time is probably one of the most nuts experiences ever. That was really cool. I have to agree.
So I currently serve as the judge advisor for FTC in Australia, and I really love that role because I get to see all of the kids. I get to go around and talk to them, and I get to hear the judges talk about these kids and fight for them in the judging room. And to see how passionate other people can become about a team is phenomenal, and that's when you really realize just how amazing the kids are in the program.
Awesome. Those are some great answers. I'm also wondering, what would you say to encourage rookies to first join FTC?
It's way cheaper than FRC. A lot of times, like, the biggest bump for people is the first thing they ask is, wait, like, how much does that cost? So, in my opinion, if you're looking to start a team and you don't have a lot of money, you don't have a lot of resources, FTC is the way to go to start out, because you'll learn the basic skills, and if you want to make that jump later, then you already kind of have a foundation. So I think that FTC is almost less intimidating, and there are great communities like this that can help you learn and kind of get over the rest of the learning curve as well.
I would say you just got to do it, and then you won't regret it. And then, as Rachel was saying, people are always concerned, well, I don't have an engineering background as a coach, or no one knows anything. There's so many tutorials and online communities and forums that you can you just start just before the season, you'll have everything ready to go.
It's absolutely amazing the things that you learn, because you go into it expecting, robots and, programming, maybe some CAD, but the things that you learn through the other aspects of it are so useful and so powerful, and they can do so much for you as you progress through the programs. And then you're also going to make some of your best friends through this. So the connections that you make are phenomenal.
That's basically exactly what I was going to say. There really is a place for everyone in FTC. So it doesn't matter if you're good at programming or the actual physical building or writing or designing more artistic sides of it. Whatever you're good at, you're going to be able to find a place for yourself in FTC.
Nice. Do you guys have any last thoughts that you'd like to leave all of our viewers and audience with?
I would just say, whether you're a rookie team or an experienced team, to take advantage of all the communities or online or any event that you can take part in, because it's only going to benefit you and create endless opportunities for you down the road.
Oh, that was great. You should do your graduation speech.
Thank you.
Also, you don't want to be intimidated. I know it can be kind of scary to reach out to people you don't know, but everybody's really nice on every single thing we talked about tonight. So I think it's important to just take that step, send an email, and you definitely won't regret it.
Yeah, I mean, we're all a bunch of nerds who enjoy playing with robots. So there's, like Aiden said, these online communities are so beneficial, and it's really, really important, because we didn't get involved with this for our first 3 years, and then getting involved last season was so eye-opening, because there's so much more out there, and it really, really opened our eyes.
So first is a ton of fun, and it's even more fun if you do go out and connect with other teams and other people from all over the world. And one way to do that is with these online communities. So they can be a ton of fun.
I'd say you never know where it's going to lead you. First has opened incredible doors for me as an alumni in the program. I've gotten to intern at Google. I'm on a really nice scholarship. I've gotten undergraduate research opportunities at university. So just make sure you fully utilize your connections, because they can open incredible doors.
That was great. I'm going to have to end on that, because you guys gave such great advice. I don't want anything else to come after it. That was perfect. So I would like to really quickly, unfortunately, we have now concluded our virtual summer conference, Gear Up with FTC in the Classroom. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and participating in our virtual conference. And thank you to our amazing experts, Colleen, Katie, Aiden, Rachel, and Sarah. To continue this discussion or ask more questions, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and of course Google+. As a reminder, all of tonight's presentations will be made available on our YouTube channel and on our Gear Up with FTC website. If you have any remaining questions or think of any tomorrow that you need to ask, please feel free to email ftcteams@usfirst.org and we'll get back to you. And also, I know all of the contact information for all of these groups has been throughout the presentation, so please don't be shy and feel free to reach out to any groups if you're interested or if you have questions. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Have a great night.